is an origin reading for Love to Listen. So I have 6 crystals that I pulled out for this reading, and 4 of them are white. These 2, I don't know what they are, but as you can see, they're kind of milky white. And I have my crystal quartz here and my selenite wands. And then I have my 2 rose quartz crystals. So these white crystals have to do with angelic frequencies that are coming in, and also specifically with the selenite wand, some things that do need to be addressed and cleared. Now the rose quartz has to do with the heart. And part of the part where I was getting the code name, a lot of this is where the heart comes in, and gifts surrounding the heart chakra. There was a lot coming in during the code name, so I kind of have to think where to begin here. And I guess I'll just start with these career questions, because there was actually already a lot coming in response to these career questions. Okay, so first off, when I was retrieving the code name, firstly, I was surrounding you with the light. I surrounded myself, and then I attempted to surround you, and I had to keep trying and trying over and over and over to get the light to go around. And it almost seemed like some things were, like thought forms were almost attempting to not allow the light to come through a bit. And so some of this had to do with, it felt like some things, some emotions that you go through, but you don't necessarily show everyone else. Like a lot of it had to do with worry, it felt like you can be a bit prone to being kind of worried and kind of stressed. But also, part of the reason that you could be prone to that would be almost a negative twist on like a positive thing, because you also just are like very active mentally, and that I'm meaning in like a positive way. So it felt like you have a lot of intelligence, you have an ability to really multitask. So you have the ability to think about many things at once. And so if we're just speaking about things that you would be really good at, feelings that I was getting was like management. You would be very good at any kind of position with management, where you have to organize a lot of different things. You have to take care of different things. You have to think about, customers. You have to think about people who are working under you, that, you are like advising on what to do, and you're kind of keeping the flow of the atmosphere going, whatever environment that you are in, you would be like organizing it, keeping it flowing. You definitely have the ability, like I said, to multitask and to organize and to think of many things at once. And so there were some kind of fast-paced energies coming in a little bit. And this would be more why you might be kind of prone to stress and worry. Not that, there aren't any external, I don't want to say causes, but I mean, not that it can't be kind of influenced by external things, or that you might not see external things and get a reaction. But there was this kind of feeling that because of how your mind works, this is something that you could kind of get off into anyway. Because if you have a mind that's capable of really thinking like a lot of thoughts, like brainstorming, okay, would be the more positive, then when it isn't brainstorming, it can end up kind of dwelling on something or worrying on something. Another thing that was coming in was that there's kind of some stress, and also it felt even like hurt or like pain, like some emotional pain um, that you're feeling. And this felt like, again, like it's something that you don't show to others. There was even a little bit of a feeling that you don't always show it to yourself. So there's this feeling like, on the one hand, yeah, you are an emotional person, you're a caring person, you're a loving person, and a fairly outgoing person. But on the other hand, uh, you can kind of shut down your emotions a little bit and be a bit more logical, is what it was kind of feeling like. Or maybe this feeling of being more logical that I was picking up on, it's just because I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a shutdown in the emotions. Okay, so right, okay. Now going to the career thing. So yeah, there were a lot. Another thing that I was seeing was anything like with a phone, where you are doing customer service, or you're working phones, you're doing something where you're speaking to a lot of people. These would all be things that you were good at, okay? That you would be good at, I mean. But as far as like what you would be more, maybe, I guess the word even that you used, yeah, would be more like fulfilled, would be, I was feeling the heart chakra. This is where the love to listen part came in. And it was actually feeling like part of the reason that you would be so good with customer service and taking care of all these things and taking care of people is because you are very good at listening. And that's where the gift really comes in. You're able to listen and to provide for others. And so even something like teaching, like a school teacher or something like this, you would be able to listen to all the students and you would be able to adequately help them. And even if there were multiple ones, you would want to give time to each one, and you would find a way to do that. You would find a way to give some time to every child that was there, is what it felt like to me. So it felt like an atmosphere where you are advising others would be more suitable for these gifts here. This even felt like counseling, something like that. And even healing abilities come into play with this. But in some ways, the healing felt like in a more logical or in a more practical way, not like you're giving Reiki or something. And that doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone is going to feel to go and have a Reiki session, and it's not really going to do something for them. Yeah, it might clear up psychological or emotional blocks. Absolutely, if someone's feeling to go to that. But on the other hand, sometimes people actually just need someone to listen to them and comfort them. And this is something that you really have the ability to do. But the thing is that when you're listening to others, it's like you have to listen to yourself also, your own emotions, and get very comfortable sitting with yourself and observing your emotions and your own emotional responses, because it almost felt like there's some emotions that either like you don't even know that you have, or that you just don't really want to look at, and so you don't. That's what it kind of felt like. Even though in some ways, I don't know, I feel like in some ways your life is what people would kind of think of as good. So again, even though, yeah, this can be caused by some external things, on the other hand, it kind of feels like some of this is inward, and it's internal. Okay. Well, I just looked at the video and it said 11:11. I don't know what that's going to come to on the actual thing though, because we put the intro and everything in the front. Okay. Gotta wait for your guides to come in. Gosh, okay, maybe I need to do some clearing here, because I keep feeling like your guides are bumping into something. Um, and I did have to put some extra protection in the room. So I might have to do some extra clearing here just to like really tap into your guides. But I feel like a lot of what came in the code name is kind of the majority of the message that they would want to bring in anyway. This is about your career and kind of giving you some guidance on that, because I'm definitely feeling like I'm going to have to clear you some more. I'm not saying that nothing else is going to come through during the reading, but I am saying for whatever reason, for me to get anything else, or for me to get much else, I'm going to have to focus on clearing you a bit more. Okay. And I just get this feeling like you kind of come across as this normal person. You come across like things are totally okay with you. Things are fine with you. Um, and you will smile. You will smile if you're not okay. You will smile anyway. You will smile to be polite, and you won't care about yourself as much as almost how you seem, or like how do I say it? Um, yeah, that is kind of the energy of how it feels. It has to do with others though. Almost like you wouldn't want to stress others in a way. That's kind of how it feels. Like in some ways, what they would feel is more important than what you would feel. I also feel, and this was coming in during the code name too, I also feel like you're a very strong-willed person. You definitely have a strong will and determination. And I also feel like you could pretty much do whatever you wanted. Since you can multitask like that, you have a lot of skills where you could learn a lot of things and you could do a lot of things. But I also feel this energy of caring for others, wanting to care for others and wanting to help others. But again, the way that you do that is with listening. That's what it really feels like. And again, kids. Feels like caring for kids. It almost feels like you're a mother, is how this almost feels. Just feels like a very mothering energy. And I'm not seeing kids specifically. And I'm not getting a feeling of kids necessarily either. It's more like a mother's energy coming from you. And I feel like part of the reason that they're not being so specific is because one of the things that they were coming through with as an option, not necessarily the thing that you have to do, but because it's more about using these gifts in a way that would suit you. And it's like you'll it's like they're giving you it's like they're giving you the direction. These are the gifts that you need to work on operating. I also feel like this won't be as stressful. Like, okay, for instance, whatever it is, I feel like it won't be as stressful. But let's say for instance here, if you are on the phones all day and there's just like a million different people calling in this and that, you're gonna there's gonna be like this more of a hectic environment. In some ways, I don't feel like you necessarily dislike that kind of environment, but I just get the feeling that these gifts could really operate more in like a peaceful environment where you're almost helping somebody one on one. Now, there was this feeling of kids too, but that was coming in as more of like a suggestion, like you can do this if this is what you would want to do, and this would still be suited to this. But in some ways, it wouldn't be as peaceful of an environment. In some ways, that kind of sounds strange to me. Okay, add some more crystals over here. Okay. In some ways, that kind of sounds a little bit strange to me. The reason is if you're like, let's say, counseling or something, because they're talking about one on one, just as a for instance, and you're listening to people's problems, to me, that kind of seems like it could be stressful. So I don't know why exactly they're saying that it wouldn't be stressful, but then I'm getting the feeling that it's because some people are good at that kind of thing. Some people are meant to handle that kind of thing, and you are good at listening to others, at hearing almost problems of others in a sense, or just giving them advice. I'm almost even getting this feeling it doesn't necessarily have to be counseling like emotional either. It could even be something, it could be like almost like some other type of advice, some other type of general advice. Like, some people give career advice or they give fashion advice or something like this. But you're listening to people and you're helping them one on one with giving them advice. This is what this feels like because I'm like describing energies that are coming through. Just to explain what I'm doing, it's like it's energies that are passing towards me, and then I'm having to like say this is what it feels like, or these are the pictures I get, and this is how it seems like it could be to me. And then a lot of times it's the other person who especially makes sense of it, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and they'll write me back, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is just coming again. It's like, so your picture is there, your guides are coming up, they're showing me these things, they're giving me these feelings, but I just keep getting this feeling from them, almost like you're the one who's going to have to interpret it. You're the one who's going to have to get a sense of what they mean. So I'm giving you a sense of what they are saying and the direction that they want you to go. And it's like, you know your life. So I don't know your life. I know what they are saying about what you could do and about how are they saying this? And about like things you might be experiencing, things that, so external things, internal things, and answers to the questions. And you're the one who has to like decide from it. So for some reason they're stressing that this is your decision, that it's a choice. It feels almost like you don't have to go in one direction. I feel like the thing that would most fulfill you, the energy coming in is that the thing that would most fulfill you has to do with these gifts of listening and empathy, healing. But there again, it's coming in like healing in a practical way. And I didn't really end up having to clear you more like I thought I might have to. I just kind of set some more crystals over here, and that almost kind of blocked some of the energy. And the reason, it's not like you're a bad person or something like that. Everything coming in is that you're actually a good person, um, that you are, trying to be a fairly decent human being. It has nothing to do with that. It is more about these pent up emotions and these pent up vibrations and thoughts. And the thing is, this causes thought forms. If your mind is like dwelling on things, then it can cause thought forms. And so they can kind of be around you, and sometimes they might try to block information and this type of thing, especially if the information could end up helping to remove them. Some thought forms are positive, but these are more negative, more like worries or like extra thoughts going through your mind. Okay. So now the energy that's coming in is basically, so the thing to think about is, where do you want to go? What direction do you want to take? But still, like with these gifts, with the gifts in operation, with these gifts that you possess, what would you like to do with them? What would you desire to most use them to do? So some different things came through. Would you more want to work with like children? Would you want to like counsel others? Would you want to give them advice? But it needs to be an environment where you are listening to others, where you're taking in information from them and you're helping them get clear and get to where they're going. Whether this is emotional or like psychological, or it could even be physical with their life, or it could be a mixture. There's also an energy like you could own your own business. This could be your own thing that you set up. Or or you could find a place to work. But I almost get the feeling that you might need a degree, or you might need some other kind of almost schooling to do what you would like to do. In some ways, I feel that. But I almost feel like if you didn't want to do all the schooling, then just establishing it yourself, like your own business, that this could still work. Wow, this keeps coming in from your guides. So I'm going to repeat it. But this again is what your guides are saying. This is what they are delivering through these pictures, and they want the decision to be yours. It's not up to your guides. It's not really up to them, even though they're guiding you. The decision is yours. The choice is yours. These are the gifts that need to operate, but they're not like uh, almost, I want to say destined, and that would mean like some people, I was just saying this in another reading, some people, they decide something before they come in that they're going to do here. Other people don't, with specific things. You know, we all have certain things that we definitely chose before coming in, like our parents and things. Like we chose who we were going to come in with, and we might have chosen, you know, certain general things. Maybe we chose a lot of things. Maybe we only chose a few things. Depends on what we're learning. Some people have something more general that they're learning or that they're giving, because in this case it would be more giving. And it's not exactly that it feels general, but it's that there are multiple ways that it could come out and express itself, and it would still be accurate. You'd still be doing just fine. You would still be, you know, completing what you wanted to complete. So it's more about using these gifts, which again, it's healing, listening, love. Comfort is another word that's come in a couple of times. And almost like a feeling of loving to take care of others. But again, a feeling to help yourself too, and to help yourself process some of these emotions that need to release. Okay, so speaking of that, I'm going to go ahead and do some more clearing now. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start with the selenite, I think. Okay, so I'm just using your picture to do the visualizing. I'm actually doing it in my head and I'm looking at your picture, but I'm pointing the selenite towards your picture. And I'm just visualizing that this energy is going around you. It just feels like emotional blocks. That's what it keeps feeling like. I feel like I'm more clearing the emotional body. And that affects the energy body, but I feel like I'm more clearing the emotional body right now, not so much the mental or the energy body. So it's just coming through that you've got to release these stresses. One way that's coming in, and this is really good for empathic people, is nature. Spending time in nature. I feel like you already do some of that. So I would increase it, is the feeling coming in, especially when you're having like a lot of thoughts, or like you feel overwhelmed, or you're feeling something that you can't release. Then they're showing me like going outside and just standing on the earth with like your shoes off, and focus on like seeing it going down into the ground. See it like a ball of energy, like a ball of like stale energy is releasing out of your body, and this ball is going into the ground. And the other thing coming in is to just get in the habit of not worrying. Get in the habit of focusing on what's good. But this feels more internally, especially, than just externally. It feels like your thoughts, what you're thinking about, what you're feeling about, or what you're worrying about. And to stop, to get in a habit of not worrying, of not spending your time dwelling on anything that would feel like worrisome or stressful. Focus on things that make you feel calm. And find a space that makes you feel calm, like nature, like they're suggesting. Go out, or you can go out with friends. Even, it's feeling like you don't have to necessarily be alone when you are relaxing either, although I feel like some alone time is good, but I also feel like going out with friends also, and just relaxing, like relaxing at the beach, or relaxing in the forest, or whatever, wherever, somewhere in nature that's soothing, that's relaxing, and focus, visualizing. Even if you're around other people, you can visualize this going into the ground. Nobody's going to know. It's just in your mind what you're doing. Okay, so our time is up, a little beyond up. It looks like, but there was a lot coming in, so I'm just getting that out. But I do need to stop now. I feel like this. I feel like this could keep going and going, and I'm like, okay, guides, we need to call it quits. I got some stuff to do. All right. Anyway, though. So, thank you. Love to listen. for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope that this has blessed you and given you some clarity on your path. Thank you so much.